Let me quickly go across to Rajarshi Lahiri, who's a BJP spokesperson from Bengal. And we have Trajano De Mello, who's spokesperson of the TMC. Shubir Bhaumik is a senior journalist joining us on the broadcast as well. Gentlemen, this is going to be a very quick discussion. Rajarshi Lahiri, can I please ask you what explains what the BJP did on the floor of the House in West Bengal today? What was your exact problem with the resolution? The fact is that the government of Manipur failed, which is why violence has continued for 86 days. What was the problem in that? If the government of West Bengal wants to pass a resolution condemning the violence in Manipur, where is the problem in that?
Firstly, it's an internal matter to Manipur, which should not be discussed in the Assembly of West Bengal. Secondly, West Bengal is so much interested in discussing about the Manipur issues, then West Bengal should rather concentrate on her own issues like Malda, like Dinajpur. In 2016, similar sort of incidents had happened in Dinajpur, and our leaders were barred from entering the places. So what explanation does Trinamool Congress government has on this? What explanation does Mamata Banerjee has on the Park Street issue, where she termed it to be that it's a minor incident, and the main accused person over there, the lady who had fled with the accused in Park Street case, has been made an MP from West Bengal. Now, what explanation does Mamata Banerjee has on these all issues? If she has to discuss all these issues, and it is an extremely critical issues. And if at all Manipur issues have to be discussed in anywhere, then it has to start from the very day of 1800s, the birthplace, the reason behind all these things. Why Manipur, including the entire Northeast India, gradually turned into a Hindu minority place, and wherever it has been a Hindu minority place, such issues have barred on time and again, and no actions have been taken.
Lahiri,
why in
today
2000...
the Supreme Court itself has said, Mr. Lahiri, today the Supreme Court, forget anyone else, forget what the Congress party is saying, forget what anyone is saying. Today the Supreme Court has said that what has happened in Manipur is unprecedented. You cannot water it down by saying such and such thing happened in such and such state in such and such year. There's a word for it. It's called whataboutery. So the entire argument that the BJP has as far as Manipur is concerned is based on whataboutery.
Absolutely, we respect the Supreme Court's judgment, but there have been 4,000 such incidents. Different incidents during the entire term. We are not justifying with this horrific thing that has happened in Manipur with anything, but we have to get down to the root cause of the entire issue. We have to, and what this is not happening for the first time. Nobody has taken any action. 4,000 incidents during the UPA 1 regime, which has come down to 1,600. The suspension of operation, the entire suspension of operation.
But why tear down a resolution on Manipur?
We are not taking down any
resolution. But why tear down a resolution on Manipur? You yourself are saying...
We are not taking down...
You yourself, Mr. Lahiri, are saying that what has happened in Manipur is extremely unfortunate and shameful. You've just said that. If that is the case, then why tear down the resolution? It's as simple as that. But let me, you make a point, and I'm going to put that point to Trajano De Mello. Mr. De Mello, you're spokesperson of the TMC joining us here on the broadcast. The question that the BJP is asking is, it's a matter, Manipur is a matter for Manipur to discuss, the Supreme Court to discuss, and Parliament to discuss. Why is West Bengal discussing it? Do we not have enough issues to discuss than to pass resolutions on Manipur? This is the BJP's argument coming in.
If that was the BJP's argument, why is the Prime Minister running away from answering in Parliament? That is what everybody asking. And because that is not happening, now it is spreading out. Because no action has been taken in Manipur, it is spreading out to Mizoram. The Prime Minister is elected to be answerable to Parliament and not to speak monkey baat. He is more on monkey baat than in Parliament. He is the leader of the House. He should come and make a categorical statement. After the Supreme Court having come down heavily, yet they are trying to compare it with others. There is no comparison. It is unprecedented. I hope he knows that word, that English word. It is unprecedented, and the Supreme Court has said very clearly, don't talk about any other state. Please come here tomorrow and give us the action plan. After 3 months, there is no action plan as yet. Number two, the The BJP sent a fact-finding committee to Bengal, headed by whom? Anurag Thakur, who was banned from election from campaigning by none other than the election commission for saying "Goli maro loko ko." Such people are going there, having private meetings, inciting the Karyakartas to create violence, and they're talking of peace, and it is not proper. Today in Goa, the opposition moved a resolution to discuss Manipur. The brute majority of the Goa Assembly rejected it. Why can't they say, yes, what is happening in Manipur is okay? The Chief Minister, Mr. Biren Singh, admitted that he had failed and agreed to resign. In fact, he was directed to resign, but he played a drama and blocked the resignation. Thus, now the central government says that they have appointed CBI. Now everybody knows the role of the CBI. The CBI is basically used against its opponents. Now, have they made the Chief Minister of Manipur also their opponent because he's challenging them? The double engine Sarkar is not functioning.
Okay.
This is so very clear. When you say that you are putting a CBI, that means you have admitted your government has failed. So why do you keep him there?
No. I'm right now. I'm
Because
not talking about the CBI. In any case, you know, the victims have gone to court and said we don't trust the CBI. Mr. De Mello, just a minute. The victims have gone to court and said we don't trust the CBI.
That is what I'm saying.
So maybe, you know, we don't know how this investigation will pal out. We'll know tomorrow. But the point is, Mr. Shubir Bhaunik, let Mr. Shubir Bhaunik also come in. Mr. Shubir Bhaunik, you're a senior journalist. How do you look at what happened in the West Bengal Assembly today? You know, many people will say, ये तो मणिपुर का आपने तमाशा बना दिया है. There is something deeply disturbing and unfortunate that has happened in a state, and you're using it to score political brownie points in other states. For example, the BJP is asking what is the auchitya, what is the logic of Manipur being discussed in the West Bengal Assembly and a resolution against, you know, the BJP government in Manipur in the West Bengal Assembly?
The West Bengal Assembly has a long tradition of taking resolution even on international issues. And I see no problem if, you know, the Manipur issue is discussed in the West Bengal Assembly. But I will also point, you know, Rajarshi has a point that, I mean, he has given a long list. I don't want to get into that. But recently, there were panchayat elections in West Bengal, and more than 40 people died here. So if the West Bengal ruling dispensation thinks that everything is hunky-dory here and everything is wrong in Manipur, yes, everything is wrong in Manipur, but there's a lot wrong here as well. So what you call as whataboutery is something that's mutually played out, and there are no villains here and no heroes. There are only politicians, and they are trying to raise issues which they feel comfortable with, and they're trying to pull under the carpet issues they're not comfortable with. The usual electoral democracy, competitive, you know, whataboutery politics. That's exactly what we get to see here, and that's exactly what we saw today. So the BJP is desperate that Manipur should not be discussed, but the Supreme Court is right when it says this is unprecedented for one simple reason. There are instances. Yeah, I'm an author of Northeast, and I'm from Northeast, and I know the place. Yeah, very well. From 1980s, I've covered Manipur. You know, there have been riots before, there have been fighting between ethnic communities, you know, but the police there, even when the Manipur police, they took on the Manipur insurgents. The police was mating, the insurgents were mating, and they fought each other. Nobody ran away. Here, this time, it's unprecedented because police officers went and gave out rifles from their armories to troublemakers of their own communities. The state has withered away in Manipur. And then you have the chief minister enacting this brilliant drama that I am going to resign. And those troublemakers of the Bengal who are responsible for taking weapons from police armory and, you know, unleashing mayhem, actually turn up before the chief minister's residence and tear up his resignation letter. If the chief minister was serious about resigning, owning up, you know, sort of collective responsibility for the failure of law and order, which is obvious, he should have sent the resignation letter by email by 20 different ways. by courier actually. He doesn't have to say, I am going to submit the resignation letter, and then there are people who are coming
No,
and
we
saying,
saw
"Nee, nee,
that
nee,
drama
you
play
can't do
out.
it," and they clear it up. So you know what?
Mr.
The
Bhaumik,
basic thing
all
here
of
is
us saw that
situation is
drama
very
play out.
bad in Manipur,
And
but
unfortunately
it's
for
not
Mr.
all
Biren Singh, I
hunky-dory
think,
here in West Bengal as
you know,
well.
unfortunately for Mr.
So,
Biren Singh, everyone knew that it is drama playing out. So, Mr. Bhaumik, all of us saw that drama play out, and unfortunately for Mr. Biren Singh, he's such a bad actor that everyone saw that this was drama being played out. But you raise an interesting point, and let me just put that
you
to
should
Mr.
learn
De
with
Mello before I
COVID
wrap
boxing
this
training, how to
wrap this debate. Mr. De Mello, you know, Mr. Bhaumik makes an important point. He's saying, you know, there are 42 people who've died in West Bengal during the Panchayat poll elections. Maybe the assembly could have discussed that as well, brought in a resolution about that as well. I mean, it's all very well for the West Bengal Assembly to talk about Manipur, and there is no harm in that. What about what is happening in your own state? For the people of West Bengal, that would probably resonate a little more than what is happening in another state, sir.
No one has justified the violence that has taken place during the Panchayat polls. There are FIRs lodged immediately. Action has been taken. Do not compare it again with what is happening in Manipur. It is no comparison absolutely at all. The question is, when the chief minister has agreed to resign, when the central government has agreed to put CBI to investigate that matter, why are they not sacking him? Because the conspiracy and the people who instructed him to allow this, he will spill the beans. So they are in a tight corner, because it is also reported by top commentators that this could not have happened without the wink or nod of the powers that be, to such a scale where even armory was allowed to loot. And you just play the fool and say that 40 people died. It's a pole ball thing. Action has been taken immediately. Here, after 3 months, you are filing an FIR. And that too in one case. And that Supreme Court says it. This is not an isolated case. There are thousands of cases.
Okay. I will get 20 seconds to Mr. Lahiri to respond. Mr. Lahiri, fact is that Biren Singh has come under condemnation from across,
in Manipur, but it's not all hunky-dory.
Okay. Mr.
Also
Lahiri,
remember, you
Mr.
will be
Lahiri,
out
the
of
point
class,
is, I think Mr. Bhaumik is trying to say something.
What I'm
Mr.
trying to
Lahiri,
say
point
first
is
of
that
all,
there has been widespread condemnation.
what has happened in Manipur is unprecedented, has to be discussed.
everybody
everywhere.
is condemning
In the
the
parliament, in
same
the
instant.
assembly.
Nobody
Action
is
has to be
justifying.
taken. The chief minister has to.
True.
But
No one
I think
is
what you've said is very
justifying.
clear, Mr. Bhaumik. What you've
There is
said
no
is
but.
very clear.
There is no
Give
but.
me, Mr. Lahiri, just a minute, gentlemen. Mr. Lahiri, don't start off. I have a question for you, and you have 20 seconds to respond to this. Why protect someone like Biren Singh? Please tell me that. 86 days for him. He's not been able to bring violence under control. 160 people have died. 60,000 people have been displaced. Women have been raped. Children have been displaced. They are not going to school. Why protect such a guy? The point is, there will be brickbats and missiles that will come to the BJP if you keep protecting someone who's failed in his job. It's as simple as that.
Nobody will protect. If anybody has failed in his job, BJP will not protect that person definitely. But let me answer to one particular question. 4 years after murder of Rajesh and Taposh by people who were dressed in police personal dress in Dinajpur have not yet been delivered with justice. After 4 years, the Honorable High Court gave away the entire case to NIA, that is in West Bengal, and this case was not discussed ever in the assembly, nor even for Trilochon Mahato, who was hanged after the 2018 panchayats just because of doing BJP, an 18-year-old guy. The justice has not been delivered yet. Be it Soumitra, be it Trilochon, be it Rajesh, Taposh, Obijit, anybody wherein the people, the MLAs of the ruling party are accused. No justice have been delivered and the party is not ready to discuss anything. What does the answer the Trinamool spokesperson has? Whereas the Prime Minister has himself said that nobody will be tolerated if they have played any nuisance in this entire horrific incident that has been done in Manipur. We have faced what a riot is. We have seen those things, and we will definitely take strong action
Okay.
against anywhere that's happening. This is not going to be something
that
like
action
what
should have come by now, Mr. Lahiri.
Congress had played in
Rajshri
2000.
Lahiri, that action should have come by now. Because it's clear that Mr. Biren Singh is part of the problem, not the solution. But we'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much. Out of time. Let's see. Mr. De Mello, thank you very much. And Shubhair Bhaumik, thank you very much for joining us as well on this show. Quickly now to what is happening in Delhi. This is Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh facing allegations of sexual harassment. He's accused of criminal intimidation. He's no longer, as you know, allowed to contest for the World Wrestling Federation of India elections. Yet, Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh is leaving no stones unturned to ensure that he continues to have control and authority over the Wrestling Federation. So, on the final day of the nomination for the WFI elections, which is scheduled to take place on August 12th, the BJP MP has picked his close aide, Sanjay Singh, for the post of president. Let me go straight across to my colleague Karishma, who is joining us on the phone line. It's all very well, Karishma, for Mr. Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh to pick his proxy. The moot point and the moot question will be, does he have enough support to win?
Well, it's absolutely, Shreya, and the meeting that was held in the national capital yesterday by the Brij Bhushan Sharan camp, they claim that they have the support of 22 state units out of the 25 state units. And Sanjay Singh, who is nominated for the post of president in the WFI elections, speaking to the media, also said that they are very, very confident of their victory. But of course, we will officially come to know on the 12th of August when the elections happen as to whether the Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh panel has won or not. But yes, the government faction also nominating its people today. We are yet to know who those names are. The sources have confirmed that Anita Shoran is also one of the candidates for the post of president. So it is going to be very, very interesting that Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh's panel is not going to go unopposed.
All right. We'll leave it there for the moment, Karishma. Thank you very much for joining us. With that, it's a wrap from me. Nivedana is coming to you next at the top of 7 with all the big stories from the south of India. Do stay with us.